So yeah, there's all kinds of myths out there. So if somebody's telling you, that they've got a system that is going to last forever, hey, let's take a look. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a couple of French drains. The white line was for the locators. We always white line the area so they know where we're going to dig. And the other interesting note real quick is I always call in and tell them we want to locate the entire property. That way they know that's what we need. And also we feel much more comfortable knowing that all the property has been located. So we lay out some plastic, you can see. So what we're going to do is here in this trench, we're going to run gravel perforated pipe surrounded by fabric, which is normal here in Florida. Sand, the small pieces of sand, they definitely get into the gravel. At least that's what I've been telling you, right? So over here on this one, and over here on this one, we're going to run some easy flow. That's my pipe I like to use here, especially along the foundation. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a little test, see which one actually flows the best. So let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, so you've seen trenches, you've seen a lot of the videos, you know how the trencher cuts a nice trench. I'm going to speed this up so that we can just go ahead and get the trenches cut, and then we'll go ahead and start to install. So you could dig this by hand. It would take you about an hour to do all this. There's about 100 feet altogether, maybe 120. If you have access to a trencher, yeah, it takes 20-30 minutes and you're done trenching. I mean, it goes quick. And I suppose that if you wanted to, you could go rent a mini excavator. They're about $600 to $700 for one day. You've got to have a good vehicle to pull it and all the above. A lot of work to rent something that you could easily do yourself. With a shovel you could do the work. So let's go ahead and get to the install. So we have our trenches dug. I'm going to come back, clean them out, remove this excess soil, and bring in the gravel and the perforated pipe and the fabric, and let's put in some French drain. So you'll notice that I'm taking away only one side of the soil. This is the tiller side that threw up all the bulk of the soil. And we leave that other side because after we put the French drain in and the fabric across the top, or wrap it, either one, we need that soil to put back so we can put the sod back on it. So a couple of really good points and tips. I mean, they may seem really silly. Number one, point the wheelbarrow in the direction that you're going to take it. Don't point it this way because you're just going to turn it around. And after you move several loads, it's going to start to wear you out. And speaking of wearing you out, I'm not a great big guy, but I can move a lot of soil. And I've been doing it a long time. But if you can't fill up that barrel and lift it up, then take half a barrel. It doesn't matter. Move what you need to move. In other words, maybe this is all that you can move right here. But that's fine. So you got a couple extra trips. It'll definitely save you some energy. I like to fill up the barrel. I think that's the best way to do it. Remember that sand is about twice as heavy as clay. So if you're down south and you're moving soil, don't think sand is really light, because it's not. And this has got some moisture in it, not a lot, but when it's wet, it is at least twice, if not 3 times more heavy than clay. So keep that in mind. So why do we lay out fabric? Number one, it just kind of keeps the soil clean, but number two is that you can kind of pick it up . You can just pick it up and put it in the barrel. Real simple. If you notice when I laid this out to begin with, that it was one long sheet, no problem. You want to cut off about 4 to 6 foot. Just run your scissors or your razor through there, and you can make nice little pieces all the way through. Just leave enough soil on there that you can pick it up and throw it right into the wheelbarrow, and you can see how clean that is. I think the secret is trying to figure out how much soil you can actually lift. Just remember, sand is heavy. So you got to leave the right amount of soil, but you know, it's not that bad. You can always take more off of it. This one's got quite a bit. Remember to use your wheelbarrow because this is a great tool. It gives you leverage. You'll move it closer to your area if it's too far away. You don't want to carry it too far. This is just 6 mil plastic. It's really strong stuff. Yeah, that one had a lot in it. But it's all good. So we got a good full barrel, let's go dump it. Remember, point that barrel in the direction that you're going to take it, otherwise you got to turn it around. But the wheelbarrow is a great tool, gives you lots of leverage, easy to move. Okay, so we're all done with the trenching portion of this side of the fence, and there's always going to be some hand digging no matter what you do. And you can see we've got to go under the fence, but if you look, you see that orange marking? That's the cable line, and it's running around over that direction. So we're going to bring our line right past this crepe myrtle into that swale, and we'll hand dig this section, and then I can run the trencher over there on that side. Okay, so here's that cable line, and I doubt if it's more than just 2 or 3 inches deep, so just got to be really careful right here. We'll also find out how accurate they are. They're usually right on the money when they do locate it, but here's something right here. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, there's an irrigation line here. What else? There it is. I'll show you here in just a second, but yeah, definitely hand dig across these areas. I don't know if you can see it from that angle, but let me bring the camera over here and you can see it. So yeah, it's right beside an irrigation line right here, and it's an AT&T because you can see it's got the four strands of wire in it, and but yeah, they're right on the money. I mean, right here is the location. They're usually, if they locate it, you can see it runs really well. They do a good job when they do locate. Always dig by hand. So we're going to have to tunnel underneath of this and then continue on out, where we're just going to go right out to that swell where it's going to discharge. So there's the completed trench. It's coming all the way out to the swell out here. The swell does hold water when it rains hard, so we'll keep it up, high enough. We've got plenty of fall, and of course, it could flood, all the way back up into the system, but there's not much we can do about that. But we'll clean that trench out. Remember, after we run the trencher, we use our little spade shovel, and that's a 6-inch wide shovel, and it fits right down in the trench. And you can see over here, it's already been done. That's all cleaned out and ready to go. We're about 20 to 24 inches deep, both trenches, all the way back. This line, it's going to be solid pipe out here, because once we've collected that water here, remember, you collect the water and then you discharge the water. So the French drain is going to be the collection. Okay, we're going to give this drain every chance for success. And here in Florida, we've got a very sandy soil, and we definitely need to wrap that French drain with some type of geofabric. I really like to use NDS Quick Drain. I think that works far better than this, but let's take a look. So here's where we are. I've already poured a base of gravel. I trimmed the geofabric because I'm going to fold that over and be able to tuck it all in and all that. And we've got a nice base of gravel. We're using slotted perforated pipe. That means it has holes all the way around it, so you don't have to worry about holes pointing down. But remember, if you do use pipe that has holes in it, those holes need to point down into the gravel. This system floods up, not down.
So we've got all this laid. I'm going to lay some pipe, and basically I'm going to add a T over here, and we're going to put the GoPro down in here after it rains, and let's see what it does. We'll put some lights in there, and let's just see what it does. Okay, so we've got our perforated pipe in there. I put a T on it so we can have access to it. Now we're going to cover all this with gravel. Okay, so we've got the gravel base. We've got the 4-inch perforated pipe. This is slotted pipe. We've got real good fall coming down through here. I added a T so we can have access to take a look. And now we're going to go ahead and put more gravel in, leaving a few inches for the sod to be on the top. And we'll cover it up and we'll check it out. We're going to go ahead and run easy flow, and we'll be able to see the difference between the two. Like I say, I'm a firm believer in easy flow, especially in sandy soil. I think it works great. It's faster than gravel, but let's go ahead and add. We're using the equivalent of a number 57 stone. This is a river rock, but it's the same thing. It's just that size. Means it's, inch to inch and a half, somewhere in there, and it allows water to pass right through it very, very quickly. Remember, we've got a nice base of gravel underneath of this thing, 3 or 4 inches. So we've got a French drain. This is a geofabric wrap French drain. We've got a base of gravel underneath the 4-inch perforated pipe. Then we've got, the 4-inch pipe. And then we've probably got about, 6 inches of gravel on top of that. And it's running all the way down. We're going to go ahead and fold it over and cover it up and put the sod back on and let it rain. Okay, so there you have it. We've got this French drain that is totally fabric encased.
Geofabric and French drains in sandy soil. Let's find out if this actually works. We'll let it rain, come back, and take a look.
Okay, finishing touches. We're going to go ahead. We actually have new sod, brand new sod to put back on top of this. We're going to put a little bit of sand in there so it has something to grow into, but not much. And let's take a look. But yeah, remember that excess along the side? That's what we use just to pull that in. Real simple. Then we take our sod and set it right down in place. Smooth it out a little bit. Just laying sod. Okay, so here's our NDS quick flow easy drain. Remember, this is perforated pipe encased with the aggregate, which is the packing peanut. It's a very dense packing peanut, and it's got the geofabric, all around it. It's very self-contained, real easy for the homeowner to do, or a contractor for that matter, but real nice. So again, there's a lot of misconception about, how the system actually works. Let's kind of review. Number one, if you don't have a catch basin, the water on the top of the ground is not going to get into your system. It has to flood down to the bottom of that trench in order for it to work. And then it floods up through the aggregate into your pipe and is carried away. And another thing that's interesting is that, I've never tried to rate a pipe. I don't really care. I know these systems work. I've been doing it for so long. NDS quick drain, easy flow, and it's the greatest stuff in the world. It doesn't magically float up to the top. That's pretty much impossible. But unless you just lay it on the ground, put something. Of course, it's underground. It's got soil on the top of it. It's not that buoyant. But so yeah, there's all kinds of myths out there. So if somebody's telling you, that they've got a system that is going to last forever, hey.
Okay, we have 2 systems installed in this yard. One is the gravel encased perforated pipe with the fabric, and the other is the easy flow. The easy flow is really just a self-contained French drain, and I promise you that this works better in sandy soil than anything else. One final note, this entire system was dug using the trencher. It is by far the best way to trench any drain line. Don't use an excavator. Wow, what a waste of money and time.
So I stopped back by here after a huge rainfall and was shocked. Look at this. It's not working at all. Why is that? Well, I quickly figured it out. This was airlocked. Can you see as I move back that debris from the top of that catch basin? That's why the catch basin is so important. It has to be able to pick up the surface water. But this was airlocked. And once I removed the debris, look at the flow coming out. This yard drained in about 15 to 20 minutes completely. But did the French drain work? Well, I think that it did, but the catch basins are really what move water, as you can see. Look at all that water coming out once I cleared the top of the catch basin and allowed the air to get out of that system. So in less than 20 minutes, area is totally dry. Easy flow side, totally dry. Everything in this system worked really good, but what happened was that it got airlocked. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.